Are we live or are we live? Looks like we're live. Oof. It's pouring down right now. Oh, I'm gonna take the long route home. I'm leaving a little early just because I'm paranoid as hell in these stores, and there's not a whole lot I can do, you know. Becomes a part of me. Just wait, just 1 second. I accidentally erased the morning chat that I had coming over, so I'm just gonna do a repeat, I guess, because I had all that chatter and it's gone. Like, nobody's gonna hear that one. Just me, myself, and I, unless somebody tuned in and I just didn't realize. But give me 1 second and let's see here. Okay, so I was talking about crafting this morning because I'm still trying to get a computer that I can use my Cricut design on, because Cricut it works with my phone, but lately I've been having like it mess up the letters and stuff. So I want to get a computer or a laptop or a Chromebook or something that I can run the application on a little bit better, because I think that's what the problem is, and that you have to really pay close attention when you're working with Cricut. And as far as logos and designs and stuff on my mask, I did a company logo. I've done several different ones, but I noticed like when it's little bitty intricate tiny little letters, that sometimes it sticks. Like when you're trying to peel the iron stuff off, it'll stick on there and the letters will stick. The logo itself, it peels off perfectly, and then the letters, they stick and it messes up. So I think I really need like a laptop or something. Oh, I really need to get out. This car is like totally in my way. Now I could get out if she would just get out the way. Yeah, please, thank you. Oh my God, I hate people. But anyway, yeah, so that's the issue I'm having with as far as, like crafting and trying to, upgrade all of my systems so I can work better on my crafts and make more masks, because, coronavirus is here to stay, honey. She ain't trying to go nowhere. And these vaccines for the United States, honey, we're going to be last in line to get anything. And then most of the people aren't going to want to take the vaccine anyway. So, it's all on the horizon of this disease is just going to be around for a while. So I might as well at least try to make more masks to, sell to people and hopefully, generate more sales. Because I sold quite a few of the sparkly ones, but like I told you before, I have to go and get the materials from Goodwill to, make those types of masks. So I basically go and find material from Goodwill, because a lot of ladies, they stop, sewing, and then they donate yards and yards and yards of fabric to Goodwill, and Goodwill sells it for a little bit of nothing. And I buy it up whenever I can find it, or I'll upcycle a blouse or a skirt that's very sparkly with lots of sequins, or a dress or something that's got a lot of, really nice sequin on it. Oh, somebody's in the road over here walking. Oh my God. She must be going to those apartments over there. And so, girl needs to take an Uber, honey. That's like $3 and change. Or maybe she ain't got it. I don't know. Let me shut my mouth. Fierce. Oh, so, yeah. So I go to Goodwill. I purchase a lot of fabric from there. I come back. I can make pillows. I make masks. Um, and then I just buy a lot of blankets and stuff like that because I got the puppies as well. And so I try to just upcycle as much as I can, and that way it saves me a ton of money on materials if I just do it that way. And so far it's worked out really good. And I ran into some ladies the other day who sew, and they were telling me about another Goodwill that has really good deals. It's kind of further out, but they told me to try to check that one out, and I said, well, maybe one day I'll go and venture out there to see what they have at that particular Goodwill, because they're all going to be different. And I just really want like a way to learn how to do the cricketing better, because I watched a lot of the videos, and one of the things you have to know how to do math. If you don't know math, you're not going to have a good time with that cricket, because it requires you to know measurements and stuff like that. And Miss Cricket, she ain't playing with y'all. Get your dimensions right, get the spacing right. If you're doing iron-ons before you hit print, you better make sure you flip that design the wrong way. If those letters are facing the right way and you hit print, and it prints out on that iron-on paper, it's going to mess up every time. Like, it's going to be, your project's going to be ruined. And you're going to iron it onto your shirt or whatever, and it's going to be the wrong way. So, that's something I had to learn. It's like, don't pay attention. Like, when you're working on critically, don't do it when you're tired. If you're tired or exhausted, it's not a good time to be on that machine, because you have to pay attention to details. And if you don't pay attention to details, you're just wasting your money and wasting your project, and that stuff is expensive. And so you don't want to waste your time and your project not paying attention to details, because it really requires you to know what you're doing, and you have to play with it. I played around with it with my phone, but I soon realized those smaller, intricate projects, it wasn't printing it out right, like it wasn't cutting on the cutting mat right. And I think it's the program, the way I'm using it with the phone. I need to get a computer and do it from the computer and have it set up that way. So that's going to be my next, project, is trying to get a computer so I can work my Cricut machine better to help me make more masks and stuff like that. Because I can't really, I haven't really done t-shirts or anything like that. And so it's just interesting. Like I find it so interesting. These machines are so neat. Like they can do so much. And I've seen my niece and others online doing all kinds of projects, and I'm like, I wish I could do half as good as some of these people are doing. I'm not quite there yet, but like I said, I've been doing it from my phone. They Cricut got a little phone program you can cut out and print out stuff with, but it's it's very detailed, and so you gotta know what you're doing. I'm half blind. I can barely see half the time, so it's just crazy. And so, yeah, I had this conversation this morning, so if you guys are watching, I accidentally deleted that conversation off the phone, so I couldn't upload it to YouTube. I don't know how I deleted it off. It's like that conversation's nowhere to be found. So if anybody tuned in this morning and you heard the morning conversation, consider yourself lucky, because it's gone. And so I decided, since I'm going home and it hasn't gotten completely dark yet, I'll go ahead and do an evening chat and just do a repeat, because let me see if I can get over it. Hold on. These people are so crazy driving in the rain. They don't want to let you over and all this kind of stuff. So I wanted to talk about the BL series and stuff like that, just because I had gotten frustrated, just crafting. And I found myself like, when I started watching BL series, it's just like crafting or anything else. Like, you have to enjoy what you're doing, love what you're doing. If you don't like it, you're not going to enjoy it. And I found myself getting really bored really quick with Bachelorette and Wheel of Fortune and all of that, the normalcy crap that comes on regular TV. And I really wasn't interested in, a whole lot of American TV anymore anyway, because it's a lot of the same old. Repeats of Star Wars, repeats of Spider-Man, repeats. These actors are getting so old, and it's like, no, I don't want to watch all that anymore. I don't care how good the technology is and how good, blah, 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 this actress looks or whatever. I'm done. I need to, tune into something from somewhere else in the world, And so I started, watching Asian films and from other places, like I started watching Thailand, and I quickly, was shocked how good and how well done their productions are, and compared to our Hollywood, and how they really utilize their performers, and their performers are, to me, much more talented and way more skillful than some of ours. I won't say all of American performers are not skilled in the sense that they can play instruments and sing and dance and act, but that's kind of rare. You don't rarely find people who can do all those things and do it very well. And when I started watching Lovesick, I was shocked that the same little young actors were the same people singing the songs in the background with the love ballads. I was like, oh, these are all the same people. And then you can see them playing instruments and stuff throughout the BL series. And I'm like, damn, they're really talented. They can sing, act, dance, play instruments. They're singing the songs in the background, the love ballads and everything. I'm like, wow, all the same people. And so that really impressed me. I was just like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then before I knew it, I got sucked into it, and then I started after Lovesick. There was Lovesick 2, and then there was this one called, what's the other one called? It was Make It Right, and I started watching Make It Right. And by the time I started watching Make It Right, that series, my ear was already picking up on hello, goodbye, I love you. I was like shocked, like, bitch, no. And that just let me know that my brain is still open to, feeding itself and wanting to learn and wanting to understand things. Even if I myself have lost interest in it, my brain is still saying, no, bitch, we still got things to do, to keep your brain happy. And so I just went along with it. I just kept going on. Even for years and years and years, when I studied Spanish, it was hard as hell. But I was living in Florida, and everybody was speaking Spanish at my work location. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be the only one sitting over here, clueless. I picked up a book and started asking questions, and I started trying to, watch Spanish TV, and before you know it, it took me about a year or so, I started understanding it, because I was like, you know what, I engaged myself into the culture, and I was enjoying it. It was good to learn a new language, and learn that, we ain't the only people on the planet here in America. It's a whole 6-7 continents out here. Oceania, I didn't even know about it until, recently. I was like, damn, that's a continent? Oh, okay. It's all scattered about, but y'all consider that a continent, so I'm going to go along with it. And so, what the hell's going on over in Oceania? I want to know. And so, that's kind of my thing is if you like crafting, you want to do cricket, you want to do all these things, you got to really apply yourself to do it. You have to have patience, and if you don't have patience, you ain't gonna have a good time with this cricket. And it's the same thing with watching BL series. If you're not used to listening to Asian languages, I listen to Thailand. I've been listening to BLs in Philippines as well, and Philippines has really impressed me with the writing skills that they have, like really good writing, sewing things up to, make a big community seem small. And those, production companies I'm playing around with. So, I can pick up a little bit of Tagalog just because it's mixed with Spanish, and it has a little bit of English mixed in, so it makes it a little bit easier for my ear to pick it up. I'm not by all means trying to learn Tagalog at all, but there's some things I already know. Like I just can hear it. Like every time I hear it, I know what it means. I don't have to think about it, and so it's really cool. But I'm just excited about a lot of the movies and stuff that are coming out because they're so good. And every time I can get the puppies settled down and get all the animals settled down, I just sit down and watch at night. Or after I get through sewing or crafting or whatever, I usually tune into those series, and try to take in as much as I can. The last couple of nights, I have not really seen very much of the movie ones that I normally watch because it's not the weekend yet. But there's one that's like a modeling show where they go from location to location and model. I've been watching it at night, along with a lot of news commentary and stuff like that. And it's fine. Like there's no English subtitles or anything, but I know enough of the language that I know when they're saying nice things and not so nice things and little short-ended conversations. This makes it easier to watch because you're like, well, I know what that means. I know what that means. Your ear picks it up, so it's pretty cool. They're building a lot of houses over here, and so random, but that's the tea with that. And so I had gotten a little bit frustrated with studying Thai at one point at the beginning because someone had texted me and said, Thai language is really hard and, you're too stupid to learn it. And I was like, bitch, I don't know you. Don't be telling me about what I'm too stupid and too dumb to learn. That's your opinion, and you can keep that over there with you. But not only am I learning it, I have Thai teachers helping me. They come and message me on Instagram. If I have a question, I can message them. And they answer me, and they reply to me. They respond to my messages. They keep in touch with me and see how I'm doing. They tell me, bitch, you learning Thai. You're doing pretty good. Your Thai is getting good. So I know that I'm learning it and picking it up piece by piece, but I'm doing it because, I enjoy it. It's something that I want to do. It's not like I have to do it. Otherwise, it would be something that, a school requirement or something like that, but it's not. I'm just doing it because, I'm watching a shit ton of, Thai movies, and I want to understand what I'm listening to. I don't always want to sit there and just stare at English subtitles because I can't really enjoy the movie like that. But if I don't have to sit there and stare at every single little thing and I know bits and pieces of it, and I just keep trying, eventually I won't have to watch the subtitles because I'll know enough of it that I can just hear it in my ear. And that's kind of the way it goes when you're watching a foreign film. If you're listening and you're watching, even though you're sitting there reading those subtitles, your ear will most likely start picking up hello, goodbye, how are you, I'm sorry, the little basic words, because it's gonna repeat a lot, in conversation, depending on what is happening in the movie. And that's how I ended up, starting to study Thai language. Now, for me, I not only wanted to study the language, I wanted to study the culture, the religion, and the reading and writing of it. And so I just deeply submerged myself in. Probably 6 months in, I started writing and practicing the alphabet, and I put programs on my phone that I could practice as much as I could. Now, since I've gotten the puppies in the last couple of months, I've had to slack down on all of that. So I'm behind on my writing as far as writing and reading and stuff like that, the language. But I'm still picking it up because I'm still watching the movies and I'm still studying whatever the teachers post online, and I still have time to do those things. So I'm not completely out of the loop. I'm just kind of behind on the writing portion of the language, and that's fine. Let's see here. Let me get around this curve. I'm almost home. Let's see. What else? I also think, it's harder for someone like me to fully grasp concepts of things at times because of trauma. And I always talk to people about trauma as a trans person. When you're growing up in two-spirit world, as they say, born in the wrong body and shell and stuff like that, it's very difficult to feel safety and feel secure enough that you are confident in yourself because you're constantly struggling to survive. You're constantly struggling for acceptance. You're constantly struggling with not feeling good about yourself because you know something's wrong, you just don't know exactly what. And when you're being traumatized in your life or being picked on and being hated and not liked and not loved and accepted in your environment, it makes it hard for you to be able to retain school. It makes it hard for you to be able to retain knowledge of concepts and things because you're in survival mode. Nobody thinks about these things, but it's something to think about just because it happens, and it can happen for years and years and years. I'm not saying that you can't learn, because you can, but it's extremely difficult to hold huge amounts of knowledge in your head. How some people can just rattle, backwards a whole dictionary of stuff. Traumatized person's not going to be doing that because they don't feel safe, they don't feel secure, they've got a lot of insecurities, and they're in survival mode. They're trying to survive a trauma because you're being traumatized in so many different formats. It's hard to sew it all together. And so I just want to throw that out there just in case people wonder anything about if it's hard or difficult to, study in school when you're a young person and you're trying to educate yourself, get an education, but you can't because you come to school and being picked on, traumatized from the teachers, student body, and then, you go home and you're train wreck because you've just been totally ostracized in your social group and your place to study where you have to go every day. It's not like you can skip out of school, you have to go to school. Homeschooling wasn't an option when I was growing up. If it was, I probably would never went. And so, that's just something to keep in mind. I have my days where, my brain just won't retain anything because it's so preoccupied still with the traumas that I grew up with, even though I don't have those traumas pretty much anymore. I'm traumatized every time I open up Instagram and I see other girls who are like me, who have been murdered, killed, or are in conflict with someone who's pretty much traumatized them, and it just triggers me sometimes when I bump into these things on Instagram and Facebook or see a YouTube story. I saw the story of Uni last night. It popped up on my YouTube, and it was like a minute clip of her interviewing in Spanish about her life and her career, you know, as a showgirl in nightclubs and stuff. And she was saying, you know, she's done modeling, acting, she's done, you know, all this stuff in Miami. She's built up her name. And she was saying it all in Spanish. And I was just taking it all in. And then it dawned on me she's no longer here. Her significant murdered her recently. He's locked up. She's dead. And, you know, just to see her talk, to see her, how vibrant she was and how hard she worked on her body to look so pretty and get her career going and have it taken away like that, it was triggering for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I literally almost had to lay down and take a pill because I just couldn't deal with, you know, seeing that beautiful girl get snuffed out by somebody who was supposed to protect her and love her. He claims he did it because of his heavy drug usage, and, you know, to me that's just an excuse. You know, drugs didn't make you do it. You did it because you know, you wanted to. You knew she was probably getting ready to leave your ass and put you out, and you didn't want to see her with nobody else, and you killed her. And that's, you know, it's unfortunate, it's sad, and it is what it is. But like I said, those triggering things like that really still bother me, and trauma, I try to avoid it. I try to avoid news sometimes because it's very upsetting. And, you know, at this age, I don't want to keep reliving negative things. I'm trying to get through my life and be as happy as I can, and, you know, find some peace in my life before I do leave the planet, you know. And so we'll just page all of that for today, and that's all I really wanted to say. Talking a little bit about chatting, a little bit about BL series, and all that good stuff. So hopefully I don't delete this video. We'll see if it goes up or not. All right, bye everybody. It says, are you sure you want to stop streaming? Okay.